Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're working on the Valiant, Mr. Jones, and quick little picture there. Got some stuff I'm gonna show you here in a minute. But Adam, my cousin, he took care of the thermostat housing for me. As you can see, we have a nice piece here. I'll show what he started out with, but in another picture. But just make sure you watch his video. It'll be coming out soon or before mine, not sure. But yeah, we're gonna put the thermostat on, fill this thing up with water. This week, I came out here, I shortened up my plug wires, and I put some heat covering on this side. And what I ended up using was, this is like heat shield by the foot. This is like 10 feet for $15 or something like that. So I think that's gonna work just fine. It's an aluminum, and I think it's like a fiberglass inside. So I think that's gonna work for us. Also today, we're gonna work on redoing the exhaust mount. So I'm gonna bolt this to the frame rail. Then we're gonna have a little hanger here, and then have another piece hanging off the exhaust. So we're gonna work on that, and we have shocks and a few other things we're gonna try to knock out. We'll see how the day goes, and yeah, we'll go ahead and get started. I do have some aluminum colored paint that matches the intake manifold. That's painted there, that way nothing sticks to it. Oil, anything like that will just wipe off instead of getting into the aluminum. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quick, just spray some silver engine paint on there. All right, we've been out here working for a little bit. David went ahead and put on the thermostat that Adam made for us and filled it up with water. We have a 180 thermostat that I decided to use. I had a 160, but I decided to go 180 because of the fuel injection. So I wanna make sure that that thing has proper operating temperature. So that's looking good. And then we're looking at shocks and stuff, trying to figure out the angle on the rear, because we have Durango shock plates on the bottom, so like a 2000 Durango-ish, that body style, and the angle is different also because we have the Leaf Spring relocation kit. So the shocks are just a little off on lining up with those, so we're trying to figure that out. And then these tabs, let me go to the other side, I think I have more light. We welded on some tabs to the rear end. So right here, welded these tabs on for the brake lines to mount to, and then re-bleed the brakes. But yep, everything's kind of fighting us, but we're getting it worked out. I'm gonna have to make a new brake line for this side to go from the distribution block there, from the distribution block there to the mount to the flex line. So this flex line will go in the new mount like that, and then she'll make that short little line right there. But yeah, so we're out here working, and it's fun.
Yes, always fun.
It's fun.
We're having a blast, man.
Yeah, tough day again. These last little things are fighting us, but we're gonna get it done.
Fine details.
So here's my line I just bent up, and I have it in the flare here. This is a Harbor Freight Pittsburgh flare tool, and it was slipping last time I did some brake lines, and so what I did is, you could see that it was warping in the middle. It was just bending and not allowing to put enough pressure on my line. So I just have a C-clamp here, and now I'm able to flare properly. Already did the other side there, but yeah, if you have one of these cheap flare tools, might need to put one little C-clip on it, C-clamp, to help it out. And then get a little brake fluid on the flare piece here, slide it in there so it has a little lubricant on it, and then flares out good. Part one of the flare. See the little bubble right there? Now I got to do the second part. Little dab of brake fluid on it just for a little lubricant. There you go. It's pretty good. So here's a quick look at the brake line and the mount that we put on there. And the other side's pretty much the same. There you go. Looking good. And then David's underneath trying to figure out the exhaust mount. We're redoing that, so keep on working. All right, it is now Sunday morning. Me and David stayed out here until 9 o'clock last night working on stuff. Didn't think it was really stuff that needed to be filmed, so we just went ahead and knocked out a couple of little projects. We installed the front shocks, and those are done and in. They are just stock shocks, stock replacements. And back here I was talking about figuring out how we were going to mount the rear shocks, and we decided last minute last night about 9 o'clock when we were finishing how we're going to do that. Going to make another video on that because we hadn't even started on it, but we do have that planned out. Underneath we did get the exhaust hanger done, so let me slide on there and show you that real quick. So here's what we did with the exhaust hanger. We have a stock style insulator that we just ran a bolt off of the exhaust pipe here and welded it on, and then on the frame side we have another just a plate with a stud coming off of it, and it's just bolted to the frame. So that ended up being a kind of a lengthy job. We had to take the pipe off a few times and measure things and all, but it's now on there. And like I said, this is just a temporary exhaust, and that's going to be just a temporary hanger. So yeah, because this is so short, we just need to come back a little further with this exhaust and get it back to the rear end at least. Something else we messed with, I have this brake line up here next to the downpipe, and I've always had a concern, well I do have a concern, that this is going to get too hot. So I have some of this leftover heat shield from the spark plugs, and we tried a few times to get that over. You know, we opened it up and we took the brake line loose, tried to snake it up over the line, but this stuff just has this real thin aluminum coating, and as we were trying to put the brake line through, it was just tearing up this coating. So we're gonna have to find a different type of material to cover that and keep that heat from hurting that brake line. Here's one more look at that water neck that Adam made for us. He sent me some pictures of the process, and that video is going to be pretty cool, so make sure you check that out. So another good productive day on the car yesterday, and coming along nicely. We're getting real close to driving, like taking it around the block. I do need to get the hood on and get the windshield guy probably coming this week. Windshield I've had for over a year, and I don't even think they make them anymore. I got it from Auto City Classics, but yeah. Also want to share real quick, got new tires on the front of Big Red. The back ones are fine, the Nitto 555s, but the front ones were about 10 years old and they were dry rotted. And went with a 215 75 15. It had two 25 75 15s on it, and I have a quick video I can show you on that, how bad they were. All right, got the front wheels off of Big Red. Need some new tires, as you can see. These are over 8 years old, 10 years old. These are the tires that were actually on the back also before I put the Nittos on, so we don't need back ones, we just need some front ones. These are all dry rotted, and there is some tread on them, but you can see it looks terrible. The alignment might be off, but yeah, got those off. I'll take them to the tire store. Went and took the center caps off. They're already old and broken, so I didn't want them to get any more damage, so I just take them off myself. But yeah, let's go get two more new tires. So Big Red's been sitting a little while because of those tires, and now I'm ready to start driving it pretty often again. And you know, the weather's nice, so it doesn't have AC. Hadn't been driving it because of the summer, but there's a few little things. I think it's got like a power steering leak or something on it, but yeah, I want to start driving that thing more. Something else I want to mention real quick, trying to get some t-shirts done. I hadn't been able to find a person to do the graphics for me yet, but the idea is a Mr. Jones shirt, Big Red shirt, and then a gas tap shirt. So let me know if you guys are interested in any of that, and I'm just going to try to work on that and get those done pretty soon, but just trying to find a graphics person to do it for me. All right, well, that's going to do it for today. I got a text from Mom saying we're having family lunch at noon, so probably tonight come back out here and work on the shocks and do a video on that. It's going to be a little fabrication, so it should be pretty good. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. See you next time.